Hi, this is Wei here, and this is the last build of the league for POE2 Early Access. Stat stacking is pretty much the pinnacle of POE. In POE1, it's kind of the same thing. Most of the best, or rather the strongest builds in the game are always some stat stacker. And I've always avoided stat stackers in POE1 precisely for this reason. Almost always, the build is extremely strong, scales very well, and has no upper limit to the scaling, with the exception of how big your wallet is. That's the way I would describe it. And when it comes to building a build that is a stat stacker, almost always, usually means you just have more money than everyone else. And it's something I just tend to avoid with most league starts, mainly because my target audience and my target gaming profile, the kind of person I am, is I don't really like to put a lot of currency in my builds. I just prefer to put, a certain amount, and then once the build performs at a certain level, I don't really go beyond that. But POE2 is an exception for that for me. It's mainly because, one, I have accumulated a lot of currency in this 2 weeks. There has been a lot of inefficiency in the market, meaning that people don't actually know how to make currency, and so it funnels a lot of the currency on the market to the people who do know how to make currency. And for people like me, and to some extent, if you look at players like Fubgun, we make so much currency that we can pretty much afford anything, right? And I've decided to go for this build mainly because I saw a few things that I liked. I really wanted something that could farm breaches like insanely fast, right? If you look at the breach, I have increased breach speed, meaning that the breaches open 30% faster, and I still can clear it completely before it even like fully opens, right? Like I kill 100% of the mobs in the breach itself, with the exception of really bad layouts. And as you can tell, the EXP per hour on this is pretty insane. I'm only at level 95. I'm already at level 95, and it's still 40 mil an hour, right? And this has been like with maybe 2 hours or 3 hours of play. Yeah, and so I want to explain to you how this build works, how it's optimized, and if you want to play it, how much you need to start with. Okay. First and foremost, this is a stat stacking setup. So if you look at my stats, I have 400 to strength, 600 dexterity, and 800 to intel. Every item on this is structured to build more stats or to make use of your stats in an optimized manner. If you look at my resistances, I am capped to fire, lightning, cold, as well as chaos. So it is a relatively tanky character. It also has 2k mana, 2k life, and 800 ES. ES can go overflow to 1.6, which will give you 5.6k total EHP in mapping itself. Very few things will kill you when you're mapping, with the exception of you standing on multiple on-death effects, right? Which can still happen if you, I don't know, if you're picking up loot. Because if you're moving around like this, very rarely will you actually get hit by on-death effects. Anyway, let's go through the items first, and then you'll know how hard it is to get the build like this, and then how much the estimated cost of these items will be. First, Pillar of the Cage God with 8% attack speed, corrupted enchant. The corrupted enchant is actually relatively easy to accomplish, and this is probably about slightly less than a divine. I'm not sure about the attack speed sockets, but I assume they are 1 divine each, or maybe less, I can't remember. But the weapon is not the expensive part, so you can actually get the weapon pretty easily. The difficult part is getting stats, so I'm going to show you exactly where I'm getting the stats from, well, as well as the Hands of Wisdom action. So Hand of Wisdom action gives you scaling on your stats, scaling for flat especially. Okay, this is the most OP part about this build. Scaling for flat in POE2 is extremely difficult. You can only scale for flat for spells with spell levels, or Archmage, and maybe some skill interactions. On attack builds, it's your weapon, your rings, if you're bow build, your quiver, and also your gauntlets, which require flat values. You need prefixes for those. Generally, you need a lot of prefixes in order to get a decent amount of flat. Now, with stat stacking, you are getting it for free pretty much. The more int you stack, the more flat damage you will have. and you can get up to 800 to 1000 plus int, right? Which means this is, let's say you have 1000 int, it's 1000 to 12,000 lightning damage as a base. Nothing comes close in terms of raw power. So this is the most broken item in the game at the moment. A lot of builds will start building around this. If you are able to get a corrupted version, which has the 1 to 12, which is a 20% more, yeah, it's insane. And then the 4% attack speed per 25 dexterity is also extremely important, but mostly for this build because attack speed is how fast you clear and how fast you move. Okay, so this itself is about 50 divines, maybe more than that. Depends on whether you're able to snipe one. Right now, if I were to look at the market, I think the cheapest is 70. Okay, let me just the cheapest on the market for this, you can go for a 3% attack speed and 1 to 12. That's 15 divines. Wait, what in the hell is this guy? I can also snipe this once this guy is off the market and resell it. Well, I don't understand. Why do people put them so cheap? Huh? Okay, yeah, well, you could, it's a 5 div margin. Okay. Yeah, it's a 5 div margin. It's not that substantial. He finally got his corruption. Grats, brother. Okay. And so yeah, this is about 50 to 60 divines at the moment. You can snipe one for cheaper. I got this for 28. So if you're willing to camp the market, you can generally find one of these cheap if you have the currency for it. This is also really expensive at the moment, about 50 to 80 divines. Because it's a 5 socket, so it has to be corrupted to get the additional an additional socket, sorry. This gives you 5% increased attributes per socketed rune or soul core. So I have 5 runes, so this is 25% increased attributes. It's also 10% increased rarity for items found, and so it's a base 50% increased rarity for 5 sockets, and then if you socket for rarity, it gives you 100% rarity. So this is a 100% rarity chest. Extra Madness is also crucial. Right now this is about 80 divines. It is dropping though, so maybe it'll be more accessible. Still really expensive, but still more accessible. I bought this at about 90 divines at that point. So you're gonna get this cheaper than I did. Probably the only item you'll get cheaper than I did, but yeah. Breach rings are generally very hard to price. Okay, I snipe most of these. This one I got for about 6 divines, and this one I got for 30 exalt or something, right? So I bought this one really early, that's why it's so cheap, and I bought this one like just recently. The things you're looking out for is, for me, it's the tri attributes on the suffixes, but you also want rarity. I value evasion and accuracy as well, because they both scale your character's defenses and damage pretty substantially. Ingenuity utility belt, you can get by without the 80%. And the corrupted implicit. So this one cost me about 45 divines. You might have to pay more for something like this, but generally I would suggest getting like 71% increased bonuses. That would be only 15 to 20 divines. Much more accessible, but still really expensive. Boots are the only thing that doesn't really like this stat stack. You can get some stats on it, but it's not worth the drop, the reduction to the resistances. I think resistances offer you just more competitive value overall. And so, yeah, definitely go resistances here. In this case here, I have rarity as well. I have cold and chaos resistance, and I have quite a bit of chaos resistance. This is one of the things that helped me to cap chaos. So yeah, this is all my gear right now. Okay, the 3 Dragon Solid Mask is probably one of the most important parts of the build, but also one of the least understood parts of the build. So, lightning damage from pit contributes to freeze build-up instead of shock chance. So that means all the lightning damage you do is going to contribute to freeze and not shock. So you can never shock, okay? This enables 2 things. Enables Herald of Ice. So I'm running Herald of Ice here, and basically the Herald of Ice explosions have insane AoE because of your AoE scaling. So AoE scaling from this basically gives you insane, like, so you look at this 2% increased air effect per 5 int, This is scaling the explosion radius of Hero Ice to insane values. And then anytime you shatter a mob, which you are going to do because all your lightning damage is now contributing to freeze buildup, you're going to freeze most of the time, and all the mobs that are frozen will erupt in that explosion. So that's why you have this screen white clear, this insane screen white clear. The other reason to go for this helm is also because it enables you to get electrocute. So electrocute is on your main skill. Your main skill can't shock. You cannot shock anyway because of free dragons. So what will happen is that you're not only building up electrocution, you're also building up freeze on a mob. Now, any boss that can be frozen or electrocuted will not attack you. You're starting to understand how broken this is, right? So most ice monks, right, monks that use like ice strike or something, use freezes to basically skip mechanics. This build is going to stack both freeze and electrocute on a boss mob. That means, with the exception of a few boss mobs in the game where they don't actually they don't take status buildup or they are immune to status buildup, you're going to deal with the rest of them in a pretty easy way. Okay, you're gonna trivialize most bosses. All right, let's run through the skills. Okay, these are all rarity charms, by the way, because I don't need the survivability and I just want more rarity. Right now, my rarity is sitting at actually 200%. I just need the socket here. I need to buy a new one. I'm trying to buy one off cheap off Elva. But yeah, I have 200% rarity fine, and then with these two, it's like, I don't think they stack, so maybe 220. Let's go to the sockets and the damage. So your primary damage is Tempest Flurry, and you should never level Tempest Flurry. Let me explain again. You should never level Tempest Flurry. Alright, keep it at level 5. Why? Because that reduces your cost of Tempest Flurry to 5 mana. I never drop mana at all. My mana is always sitting at max. And why is this important? Because this is not only your mobility skill, this is also your damage. And if you run out of mana, you run out of survivability because you are using Mind Over Matter, right? So you want your mana to always be full. And to do that, Tempest Flurry just has a really low level. Does that mean Tempest Flurry has no damage? Kind of. It doesn't have as much damage as if you were to max it out, but at least you'll be able to spam it indefinitely. And I'm also putting inspiration onto this, so that means the mana is like just nothing. It's 5. Okay. The main damage sources you have is Tempest Flurry combined with Tempest Bell. So when you attack this fast, your combo point generation is insane. You're building up insane stacks of combo point generation, and then you drop the bell on them, and you're going to be spamming the bell on them non-stop. Not only will they not be able to move because of electrocute and freeze, you're going to be dropping Tempest Bells on them. So you're going to buzzsaw through any elite or any boss mob that can be frozen or electrocuted in like 10 seconds, like 5 seconds to 10 seconds, without them doing anything. Okay, let's talk about the links so you understand. I've chosen Chayula Monk for the same reason as I've done Arrow for Gas Arrow. Chayula Monk actually has hidden strengths that people don't know about. One is its ability to recover a percentage of your mana and ES at the same time. So stat stackers don't really have good recovery. They rely almost exclusively on their flask, which doesn't really recover very much if you think about it, because it's a 2k mana pool. 2k mana pool is pretty big, and this is not enough. What Into the Breach Flames do is that it allows you to instantly leech mana. So imagine, let's say I have no mana. Let's say I take a huge hit from a boss. This is my mana right now. My EHP pool has kind of dropped by about 1.5k. What do? Run over mana? Run over mana. I'm almost full. So in any boss fight, move around, pick up the flames, and you'll be back to full for both. Yeah, so that's incredible sustain. As long as you don't get one shot, no boss will kill you. And if the bosses really can't hit you in the first place because of this, but if they do hit you, you can deal with it. The other thing is Into the Breach allows you to put all the support reservation stuff. So all the spirit stuff you can stack onto Into the Breach for free. They don't cost any spirit whatsoever. You notice? And they basically give you free bonuses. right? So you just put all of them onto Into the Breach. Okay, Hand of Chayula is just for Freezing Mark, Conductivity, and Heightened Curse. I am going to add this to allow for double curse, and I'm going to put in another curse over here once I socket it. So that's cursification. It's also for blinking. So if I need to dash to a mob quickly, I use this. If I don't want to use Tempest Fury to go to the mob fast, I can just blink across the map and hit the mob with Hand of Chayula. Tempest Fury is your mobility skill and your damage skill. You're going Martial Tempo for more attack speed. More attack speed means more mobility. Electrocute is for electrocution. Yep. Rage is you will build up rage super fast on this because you attack so fast. You'll get maximum 6 rage a second, so about 3 or 4 seconds, and 5 seconds, and 5 seconds, and you hit max rage. Crescendo, final strike of support skills can be performed twice in succession. So your final strike of your skill is actually a lot more damage. So that's your 4th strike. You notice you want to compare it to 3rd strike. It's a lot more damage. So you can do it twice in succession. You can actually put more damage sockets here, but I put them all on the Tempest Belt. So this is like the leftover. Support skills have 40% less mana cost is just for, you know, free use of this. Okay, now to Tempest Bell. Tempest Bell, more elemental weapon damage, extra limit, so 2 Tempest Bells, more area of effect from concentrated effect, lightning infusion, more damage, and close combat, which is also more damage. Yep. Charge Staff is for the buff. Not really for the buff, it's for the shockwave, sorry. All you care about is the shockwave. The shockwave basically gives you that laser beam that comes out that helps to give you range, but also gives you the ability to 2 times hit on your Tempest Bell with every single attack. And if you're attacking at Tempest Flurry speed, which is 17 times a second, you're going to spam Charge Staff beams out or lasers out at 17 times per second, right? So you have more skill effect duration here for quality of life. You have more cast speed here because then you can activate it very quickly during fights. And Ice Bite is attacks gain 25% of damage for 3 seconds on freezing enemy supporter skills. This can also freeze, so this is 35% damage for free. Combat Frenzy is really good. It basically gives you the power charge generation for charge stuff, and you notice I never run out of power charges for that reason. And then you have a chance to generate another charge, right? This also is for another skill I'll show you later, and that's for extreme mobility in maps itself. And then you have Wind Dancer. I actually haven't put this in yet. Probably want to put something like, it's just a support skill, but I haven't done it yet. Blind Maim, and basically whenever anything hits you, it creates this AoE. This AoE that comes out can also freeze and proc Herald of Ice, Gale Force. Yeah. Herald Ice, you're gonna run Magnify Effect for more AoE. Look at Herald Ice area is 5.4, which is insane. Yeah, and then Elemental Focus for more damage on Herald of Ice, and then Long Shot for more damage when the stuff is really far away from you, which you will need anyway because you want off-screen stuff with Herald Ice. You want a cascading explosion shit, yeah, this is what you get. Grim Feast is for, it's not really that big. It would be bigger if there was more ES, but you know, still having like an overshield of 100 and of 800 is like really good, and having the ability to recover 200 energy shield is really nice as well. It's good sustain for maps. Okay, the last one is Flicker Strike, and what Flicker Strike does is Tempest Fury works like this. It's very easy to get caught and stuff, and for maps with really crappy layouts, you're gonna get caught and stuff and you can't move. Flicker Strike is going to allow you to then teleport to the nearest available mob that you can attack to continue moving around. It's a very good way of dealing with the mobility issues of Tempest Flurry, and makes you zoom like insanely fast. Also because you generate so many power charges because of Combat Frenzy, this is actually like free. Okay, so you have some damage on it. You have a chance to not remove charges. That helps you to like have it up more often than not. You have momentum, so that gives you more damage for mobility skill, which is like really nice as well. And then this is just to give you additional combo points for your belt if you need it. Alright, let's go to passive tree and the jewels, and I'm going to close out this video. So this is a Chayula monk. Into the Breach is amazing. Lucid Dreaming doubles the effect of the amazing Into the Breach. Mana Leech instant affects all the blue flames from Into the Breach. And then Consuming Question basically gives you ES recharge or instant ES recharge based off your mana. So I have a max mana pool of 2100, and if I recover about 20% or 30% of my mana per flame, I will recover that same value in ES. So imagine if my mana is like 2.1, if I get 30%, let's just say it's like 600 mana on each flame, I will get 600 ES, right? Which will put my ES back to full. I would definitely need more ES. I think I would like to have at least 2k ES, but for now I haven't really found a way to like solve for that. I think the problem with this is that a lot of the bases are kind of rare uniques, so you don't really have the opportunity to like get more ES, more sources of ES. Yeah. Anyway, let's go into the skill tree alone. Here, skill speed, stat. Add this here for attack speed and stats. Here. This is pretty good value, evasion and ES. If you don't feel like you need this, you can remove it. Path here, stat. Accuracy rating equals your intelligence. Accuracy rating is going to give you attack speed. I'll show you later. Here, you want to get this. Resonant basically turns combat frenzy from generating frenzy charges into power charges, and that's how you're using to sustain your power charge use. Socket, grand spectrums, you have 3 of them. All my grand spectrums are corrupted for more resistances. So basically, because I'm running this chest, I'm running out resistances, and this is the way I'm solving them. I'm solving them all through jewels. If you had a 50% elemental resist chest instead, you wouldn't need to do that. But then I also don't really know what you're gonna do with jewel sockets anyway, because your jewel sockets are pretty much one of the best sources of like resistances. Like, what else are you gonna do with them, right? Jewel sockets don't really do much for stat stacker. The attack speed they give you is like kind of meh. And then if you get, the only real thing that's like good is pen, I think, because then you don't have to get it off pathing from other sources. Yeah. So you path up here. You want Eternal Youth. Eternal Youth allows you to take your life flask and turn it into energy shield, right? I might swap this out for Orofs and drop Eternal Youth, but we'll see. You really don't recharge energy shield anyway because of this, so maybe I'll still keep it like this, but you never know. If Orof seems to be like really strong as a flask option, then I might just drop this. Here, one more grand spectrum. This has corrupted with lightning res. Path here, so just a lot of attributes, more sockets, resistance again. Yep. Oh wait, I should really stop. I should really stop trading during the videos, but it's just a habit of mine. I like trading during videos. I like trading. I like trading in general. Okay, don't tell me he doesn't know how to get to me. Yeah, he doesn't. New player. Okay. You path here, get int, more stats. You get this. This is one of the most cost-effective ES nodes. 2 points for 75 ES is insane. You path here, increase lightning damage per 10. Whispers of Doom if you can afford the extra curse on Chayula or Hand of Chayula. Socket. All your sockets are basically resistances. Down here you get Mind Over Matter. That basically turns your your mana into a EHP pool. Path down here, get more sockets here. This is my 3rd grand spectrum. Up here, more attributes. Down here, your accuracy rating along with dex is like super quality, good value for points. Down here, increase attack speed per 15. Dex is also really good because you get more attack speed. Get dex here, get percentage dex here along with evasion. Get socket over here. Path down here, get attack speed per accuracy, so that also scales, since dex scales your attack speed and also scales your accuracy, which scales even more attack speed. That's the reason why I have 17 attacks on Tempest Flurry. Path down here, Thunder Talisman for 2 points, you get an extra charm slot, which you cannot normally get because you're running a unique. So this is like good value as well. Allows you to put 2 charms and you can just go double rarity charms. If you want to go utility charms as well, you could. Path here, more sockets, more resistances. Up here, lucky lightning damage. You don't actually want to crit anymore. I don't think crit matters for you. And then yep. Up here you're getting the jewel socket for against the darkness. I have opted to go not for more percentage int, but for fire and chaos res. So if you path like this, what will happen is every single node here that isn't an attribute node is going to give you fire and chaos or other resistances. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 total attribute points. And that is like 40 fire and 30 chaos, which is really insane for stat stacker, because as long as you have resist elsewhere, you can get suffixes for attributes elsewhere, right? So, and then you get increased attributes as well as this increased damage by 5 of your lowest attribute, which in this case is strength. Yeah. So all in all, this is probably the best build in POE2. I don't think there will be a better build. This is actually even better than Archmage. So Archmage is strong, yeah, but this is just insane. Okay. You have way more mobility. You have pretty much similar amounts of damage. You might not have the same amount of total hit pool or EHP, but you still have decent recovery. And this is pretty much like, I think, the best build to farm breaches with, because you're just gonna clear breaches like crazy. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed. This is pretty much, I think, gonna be my last video of the league. I might do 1 or 2 updates. I might do a few bossing videos, but that's pretty much it. I don't think I'll make another build. POE2 has been fun, has been an interesting experience, but I think we have already, like, I think all the good builds out there have already been discovered. Maybe there are a few sleeper ones, hidden interactions that we haven't really tested out yet, but I think most of them have been kind of brought out into the light. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys. I'm out. Bye.